reason.
Right, right. So here we go. Game number one between I am SoldieR and Tedere12. We'll call them SoldieR and Ted, I think, because it's just a little easier. Game number one will be on Florida. SoldieR taking the British and Ted taking the Chinese here. And spawning in to the northeast of the map in the red, it is Ted playing as the Chinese. Down to the south in the blue, it is SoldieR. And here we go. I'm interested to see how this goes. Joined by Kaiserklein, and I'm excited to see if Ted can do some damage to SoldieR here. We're expecting it to be quite a strong performance from SoldieR in this match.
Yeah, right. Gonna have to see how Ted plays this. Would be funny to see some kind of colonial action, like I mentioned. But we'll see. One thing worth mentioning on this map is the sheep, which are very good for China. So that's one good thing going for China at least. Because their houses, villages, they act as a livestock pen at the same time, so they can fatten livestock.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's just really good for China.
And obviously they're starting with the sheep and the goat here, so they've got that straight away right at the start. And they obviously start with the market on Florida as well. In this matchup, like, what are we expecting SoldieR to do? We expecting him to do like a big aggression in the colonial age, or is he going to take a more like a eco approach?
Well, I remember discussing the matchup with SoldieR. I personally think you don't have to be aggressive as Brits here, but SoldieR does think you do have to be aggressive. So I think he will go for some kind of infantry pressure early on.
Okay.
Then he might age up later to full dress or something, but I'm quite confident he's gonna start by being like just kind of rushing China.
Right. So we might expect to see just kind of like musket play from the Britain player, rather than going for some kind of like cavalry or something like that.
Yeah, not too boomy from SoldieR usually. Brits are an interesting team because they can be very, very boomy. They have basically the best eco in the game potentially. Like if you drop your 20 manos and ship your 5 villagers, you have more eco at like 7 or 8 minutes than any other team in the game, I think. But you can also be quite fast. They age up rather fast, and they have a decent economy early on, so they can mass quite efficiently. And so there's lots of things you can do as Brits. But then again, I'm pretty sure SoldieR will be aggressive.
Yeah, we'll see. But so far, he's picked up a 135 coin treasure. Ted, meanwhile, picking up 40 coin and looking for more now. He might find the 100 XP at the top. Like, how nice is that 100 XP for the Chinese? Is there any critical shipments they want to get out here?
Yeah, it's not gonna matter right now, but it will definitely be nice later on. It's not the nicest treasure, just because, like, for example, getting food right now would help him age up faster. So you would directly get some value back from the resources.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? But right now, well, he's got a trading post. He's already shipped his villager shipment. So that's one villager for the town center and one villager for the village.
Mm-hmm.
So, the XP brings him nothing right now. He has a shipment now, and he can't do anything with it. But later on, it will help him.
Okay. And I noticed looking at SoldieR's deck here, no potential for water really, doesn't have anything in there, but he does have Virginia Company, so he might be playing this a bit more greedily. We'll see if he goes for that, but he hasn't built the TP, so I think you'd expect to see the TP by now if he was going for the Virginia Company, right?
Right. Or then you can also ship it instead of 3 villagers, like just totally skip the 3 bills and ship Virginia Company. But since he has shipped 3 bills already, we don't expect that to happen. But it's kind of like a card you have in deck anyway, most of the time, just because the British don't have the Eco Theory card that most European cities have. And so instead they can have Virginia Company, basically.
Okay.
They have a slot.
They both got 3 sheep, and Ted has a goat. He's fattening them up now at the village. And meanwhile, we'll see Age 2 coming in just a second here. Not just a second, but very soon for SoldieR, as he goes up now with the 3 vills. And probably just expecting then to see an Age 2 shipment coming in. Maybe the 700 wood first. I think that's just generally like the best or the most common, right?
Yeah. Yeah, 700 wood is just very good for Brits. It's flexible because you can decide to invest these resources into longbows, for example, if you really need to. And it's basically a villager shipment, right? You can build like 5 manors out of that 700 wood, and that's like a 5 villager shipment. And it's even a bit better than that because it gives you the pop space as well if you need
Yeah.
it, and you get XP from building the manors. Like from 5 manors, you should get maybe like more than 100 XP. So it speeds up your next shipment basically.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And I mean, obviously, the shipment curve is it sort of slows down as you go on, but it's still good to get them out. And there's numerous benefits, as you say. We're going to see him get 100 food over here as well from the treasure next to his TP, which he's just built. And SoldieR at the moment seems to be in a really strong position. We also see Ted going up with the Summer Palace. Maybe you can remind me what that does exactly. Is that the one that gives him the armies for free?
But I want to talk about something before.
Sure.
SoldieR was stacking 600 wood, and he was waiting for Virginia Company. He did build a trading post in transition, but I don't like that because he's got Virginia Company when he's up already, and that's an age 1 shipment. It's a nice card, but it's not like 700 wood, for example. It's not as good, and I don't really like that from SoldieR. It's just going to be very slow, and because he shipped it so late, he had to be stacking up to 600 wood for very long time, which means that it's delaying his boom. He could have been building houses and he was waiting for the car to come in.
Right.
So that's kind of a strange build for SoldieR, and now he's got his H2 shipment on the way, like a good 30 seconds late.
Yeah, it could have been in already. I guess it's the timing on that trading post that made the difference there, just not having the XP to send it sooner. And as you say, he's still actually grabbing a lot of wood, so it seems like he's still interested in putting down more manors. Obviously, at the moment, he's putting down a bunch all around the map, getting that line of sight as well, which is very nice. And he does seem to have the map control at the moment quite comfortably in his favor.
Yeah. Yeah, and China is going for the standard FF stuff, so just shipping 700 gold and gonna raise to H3. And to answer your question, the Summer Palace gives you 3 units every once in a while. I think it's every 2 minutes. You get a batch, a free batch of units, and it can be like crossbow pike or crossbow cav, like the step riders. It's a Chinese cav. Yeah, so you can set it to whatever you want, basically.
Yeah, it's like the different banner armies, right? And it just comes in that
Right.
different composition, which I like. But yeah, we're going to see the muskets coming forward now. We've got another barracks as well. So that's 2 barracks from SoldieR. Looks like he's going to be staying colonial while Tedere is about to click up any second now. And by clicking up, I mean building up, I suppose. He's going with the porcelain tower as his second building. Is that the resource trickle or is that something else? Yeah.
It's a factory, kind of a factory wonder.
Okay, I'm really like stretching my knowledge here. Like I played China once when I first tried the game, and I'm trying to remember what they do. But
You're right. And that is a very strong wonder. It gives you the equivalent of 8 villagers in wool. If you set it on wood.
Really?
If you set it to the resource, it's not as much. But usually you need wood anyway, right? So you just don't put any villagers in wood, and you just use the wonder to bring you your wood, and it's very strong.
That is incredibly strong, and Ted here is getting denied slightly. It's like, surely that's done. It's at 5,000 out of 5,000. It's so close, but no, it's not. It's halfway, and he does need to, of course, get that built at some point. It will build very slowly, right, without him building it, but it just goes a little faster with the villagers working on it, and with the muskets there, he's having a hard time to actually get
Basically,
that up.
he wanted to set 8 bills on that wonder, and when you set 8 bills, you need 1 minute to age up, and without any villager, it's going to be 2 minutes. So SoldieR is buying himself 1 minute extra of pressure just by idling. Although he is also
the banner army though.
Yeah, gonna help a bit. Maybe a Minuteman pop could be nice.
There it is.
Oh yeah, nice. Tedere could have maybe saved a bit more his Chukanus. They have more speed and more range than the Musketeers. So if you actually can micro them, they can't get touched by Musks, and it could be enough to defend here, even if it's only 3 of them. But
Right.
he still is doing a decent job at defending. He's aging up. He's got 700 wood on the floor and 2 shipments. So that's because of the 100 XP treasure.
And what are we expecting to see here? He's got 10 arquebusiers, he's got 11 swordsmen, 7 hand mortars, and then the others are sort of like mercenary types. So what are we thinking? He's also got the 5 meteor hammers as well.
You kind of want to ship the skirmishers, the arquebusiers, but then you expect also some hussars to come because SoldieR is a good player, so he will have some cav coming in any second. So usually what you do is you ship intervention when you have a consulate, and you get a shipment of musketeers, of really strong musketeers, the redcoats.
Okay.
Sadly, Tedere doesn't have a consulate up. He could have maybe tried to sneak it up here with that villager, but not for now. So I don't really know what you ship here, to be honest. You kind of really need the intervention in this matchup.
He's actually good. Well, he's got a lot of wood on the floor at his TC, so I'm guessing he'll gather that up quickly. He is actually shipping intervention.
My bad. Nice. He had the consulate up there. So, yeah, he's going to be fine for the moment.
Nice. Yeah, okay, that was really far out. Nice. There's redcoats on the field.
Yeah, and if you check their stats, they're just much stronger than the British musketeers. Even though they actually come from the British consulate, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, well, they're basically the guard musketeers, right?
They have the guard skin, but they're not actually guard. They're like veteran musketeers with like 10 extra % HP and attack, and another 10% HP. But that's because of the passive bonus from the British consulate. Every unit gets 10% HP.
Of course, yeah, right. He's obviously going to have that now at the consulate there. But the arquebusiers are out, and it looks like SoldieR's coming in for another attack. This might not be too great for SoldieR, right? Like the arquebusier is a hard counter to the musketeer here.
SoldieR has much more stuff, but Tedere has a perfect counter composition to what SoldieR has. So SoldieR either needs more Huss or some longbows, but he can't just mass so many musketeers here. He will need an alternative. And the problem is that, well, like we said, Tedere was floating 2 shipments, and now he has 1 more again, just because, well, he keeps getting XP from that trading post.
Yeah. Oh,
so,
top of the map, sorry, just real quick, the Hussar are coming in, and the Redcoats are immediately going to send them away. So that's kind of really nice sort of awareness from Ted there, just to be, like, you know, protecting that gold mine up to the north. But yeah, go ahead about the shipments.
Yeah, I mean, Tedere needs to ship he's got a shipment there, and it might be the Manchus, actually. He's stacking a lot of gold, and that would be very strong for sure. But my point is that despite having much more eco and much more mass, SoldieR has to be careful that he doesn't let China ship too many of these big unit shipments, because the Chinese army can get quite unkillable at some point.
Yeah, it seems to me like they've got some really good cards here in the Fortress Age, you know, and if he does get those Manchus in, that's going to be a big boost to his strength, and he might even have just sent them actually, because his gold just went down, and obviously with 23 villages on gold. I'm just wondering though, you know, it's 56 military versus 38 right now. I'm wondering how the Manchus are going to turn that once they arrive.
Well, it might be the Iron Troops actually. It's another mercenary shipment, and they are very, very strong as well. So I'm not sure which one he decided to ship. Maybe Manchus would be a little bit safer just to deal with the Hussars. Because if you can deal with the Hussars, then you have more range with your skirmishers, and you're good to go against the Musketeers. So it could be the safest bet. Then, yeah, well, it's still going to be tough, right? There's just so much stuff for SoldieR. He's got so many units. And, well, one good thing for Tedere is that he's got fat livestock now.
Yeah, that's a lot of
that's
food.
That's maybe a little bit of food in comb, but yeah, I don't know.
Here we go. It is the Manchus, and he's going to be sending them out. His villagers there off to the left, sort of getting a little bit close to these muskets, should be okay, I think. But we'll want to be very careful not to fall foul to some raids. Obviously, SoldieR has a much larger mass of units, so he could send 3 or 4 Hussar to raid here. And I'm surprised he's not trying to poke and prod a little bit more with some of those Hussars.
Well, to be honest, SoldieR doesn't. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like, he doesn't really need that much to pressure. Like, I said the Chinese army can get quite unkillable, but I mean, he still has half of it, so, and just much less eco. So I don't know. Like, I think it's gonna be GG. Just too much stuff. I mean, SoldieR is almost at 200
Yeah,
So,
it's crazy. He's got nearly double the military population at this point, and this is going to have to be a very good fight for Tedere here if he wants to be able to get back into this game. The problem is right now, you know, like there's 8 villagers inside of this village here, and that's just going to get sieged down. He cannot afford to lose 8 villagers for free, and it looks like he will because they're about to pop out, and Ted can't really take the fight at this point. And this huge colonial musket mass, this huge number of hussar, looks like they might just end up cleaning things up.
yeah, it's just very tough here for China. I think we'll see the GG quite soon. Although he's doing a quite good job at picking some kills here. Like, definitely the Chinese composition is better and the units are stronger. So he's doing a good job at microing and killing as many free musketeers as possible. But does it really matter? I mean, there's still like 100 pop of stuff for SoldieR there.
Was
And he's
the
starting.
Changdao a little bit wasted there, fighting the musks? Aren't they more for the cavalry as well?
Well, he has enough anti-cav, I think, with the Manchus
Yeah.
and the Redcoats, so maybe he just wanted to, like, buy time, just block.
Oh boy.
That's so GG.
Here he is,
This
he's
time,
surrounded.
yeah.
The sentry is coming out. That, yeah, Tedere is absolutely surrounded. And there's not a lot he's going to be able to do now as SoldieR just piles in there with everything. And, well, he tried. And I don't know, I thought at one point maybe he had an opportunity here, but, you know, SoldieR had map control the whole game. And he's just comfortable.
Yeah, and Ted was already passive there, and you do need to push at some point in this matchup.
Oh, we got the Iron Troop. They're insane,
Yeah.
actually. They're like killing the muskets so easily.
Yeah, they are absolutely OP, honestly.
Oh wow, they're just killing everything so easily.
Yeah, they have so much DPS.
Yeah,
if you can
right.
maximum them. They have a super high rate of fire as well. We can't see it because it's kiting, but when they sit and shoot, they actually have an insane rate of fire. So they are really super strong, but, well, it's just not enough anyway.
No, nice attempt. It was good to see the Chinese in play here. And, you know, I think if he'd have maybe had those Iron Troops in play before the fight happened, he may have done a little bit more damage. But even with that, I think SoldieR just had far too much of a mass of units, and obviously stacking that with the defense upgrade and the attack upgrades as well. The musks ended up being pretty strong at the end there, and obviously helped by quite a lot of hussar as well. Well played to SoldieR, quite a comfortable first game, and you know, Britain's now out of his Civ pool. Do you think that Ted's sort of like glad that Britons are gone? Like maybe he's just not a fan of playing against this Civ.
Well, Brits are definitely one of SoldieR's main civs, so it's always good if he's used them already. But he can still, like, SoldieR doesn't play too many different civs, but he still has France and Germany he's very comfortable with, for sure. So yeah, Brits are out of the way, but you know, it's still gonna be tough for Ted to play. Like, SoldieR's main civ is Germany for sure, so it's not even Brits. He still has his main civ, for example. But yeah, it's good that it's out of the way at least.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, this is the villager graph. It's like the Britons. I feel like if you don't do something about their villager count, they will just start to run away with the game, right? And Tedere never was able to sort of find any vills because he was always sort of cornered due to SoldieR just having the bigger army and having that map control. But yeah, I would like to see the Chinese against the Britons again. I'd like to see that in maybe a closer matchup perhaps and see what they're capable of. Do you think it would change things if it was a non-TP map? Perhaps there would be less incentivization to go for the Virginia company?
Well, if anything, I think it's worse for China without a trading post because they do need to spam their units. And, well, Brits then don't go for a Virginia company, but they don't have to go for a Virginia company anyway. But if you want to see some good China against Brits, Maito knows how to play this quite well as China. So it could be interesting at some point.
Okay. So do we have to go right back to the Game Ranger lobby?
No, you don't close ZeroEmpires. Just like rejoin.
Oh, okay. I couldn't rejoin for some reason. It was like, yeah, it was saying like join ES online or something, and then do LAN. Maybe I should have clicked on LAN, but I can't join the game now.
Yeah,
I'll get there eventually. I'll know for next time.
Oh, you're out again. All right. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell.
So game 1 then, going the way of SoldieR. Game 2 will be on Kamchatka. SoldieR will have to pick first here, and that gives Ted the opportunity to counter-pick. But like you said, I mean, maybe we'll see something like German or France from SoldieR, and it's not the kind of civ that can just be counter-picked.
Yeah, not too much, right? It's very versatile civs, and you don't just counterpick them so much.
I mean, what's the easiest civ to counter-pick?
That's a good question.
Like, what would be a really imbalanced matchup?
Probably Russia against Otto is quite unwinnable for Russia.
Okay.
Or then you have, but then it always depends also on the map. You know, on some maps you can't counterpick as easily. For example, on a no TP map, if you go Russia, your opponent is not gonna go Otto because Otto is absolutely garbage without a trading post. So,
Okay.
but then so there's this matchup. There's Japan can be quite hard countered by Aztecs.
Right. But I don't really see many players picking Aztecs actually so far.
It's not a very popular civ. It's not the easiest to play, and traditionally people play more European civs anyway, just because for a long time the vanilla, so the original game was quite active, and recently it started pretty much dying. And but for a long time, some people were playing only on vanilla with only European civs. So you don't see that many people playing Asian or war chief civs. Not as many as European.
Right. Does that mean that the Asian and war chief civs kind of, could give you an edge if you're sort of like, a master of them and you put in the time and to really dig into them and figure them out?
Yeah, probably. I mean, they're not particularly strong, although Sue on EP is quite strong, to be honest. But yeah, there's definitely some little tricks that some people don't know too much. And I mean, there's lots of stuff like with the fire pit. You can do lots of things with that if you know the civs quite well. And there's also more room for new build orders because, like I said, people are not too comfortable with these civs, and some people are still experimenting with war chief or Asian civs. So you can always do new build orders.
That is really good to know, though, because I feel like for a long time with Age of Empires 2, right up until we had the expansions, the metagame was kind of getting very stale. And then the new civs sort of introduced a lot more variety and, a lot of different approaches to the game. And so it's good to know that, even though the war chiefs and the Asian dynasties have been out for quite a long time now, that they're still sort of being experimented with and figured out in a way.
Yeah, right. It's like the meta is a little bit stale at the moment on Age of Empires 3, but yeah, there is still room for these civs to be explored a little bit more. So yeah, that's cool.
That's cool. So I think you need to back out so SoldieR can get into position 2.
My bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Whoops.
It's just Game Ranger things. It's fine. But we're going to have Kamchatka up next, a map which I'm actually quite a fan of. I like the way it looks. I think it's a really pretty map. And I like the fact that you have those sort of choke points in the river. It's quite a nice thing to fight for.
Yeah, it's a cool map for sure. It's a very classic tournament map. We've seen it since the first ESOC tournaments in 2015, I believe. We've seen this map basically every tourney. So yeah, it's a very standard one.
Yeah, it is nice, and it looks like there's not huge amounts of hunt on this map before you have to sort of get quite far away from your starting position.
Well, it's quite comfortable, to be honest.
Okay.
You get your starting hunt and then 3 hunts, and that's quite a lot. But they are a bit hard to herd towards your TC because for some reason they keep running away. It's quite annoying.
Okay, maybe they're getting blocked by the little cliffs and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They just stand on this map to get a bit far away from your TC. But if you do a good job at herding, you should have a substantial amount of food in your base.
All right. Herding. That's something I need to
Yeah.
learn to do a bit better. But here we go, game number 2 between I Am Soldier and Tedere. It's going to be on Kamchatka, and it's going to be Tedere on the Britons and Soldier on the French. So we're going to see a bit of a switcheroo. Ted taking the Britons now. Doesn't want to perhaps avoid a British mirror, but quite comfortable picking the British into the French. Soldier had to first pick, and that was his pick. We'll actually see Soldier spawning down to the southeast of the map. He's playing in the red, and then up to the north in the blue. It is Tedere.
Yeah, right. This matchup is interesting as well. It's a very classic one and quite a close matchup. We'll have to see how SoldieR plays it. I'm curious to see that. Usually you kind of go for a fortress push as France here, but colonial options are kind of open to France. They are a bit faster than Brits early on, but not much. It's really not easy. So we will have to see how they play it. It's gonna be interesting.
Okay, well, I think Tedere might still be loading in, but we'll
Yeah.
see. I think that was the same as last game, so I think we're fine. Yeah, there we go. I think that's going to start up now. Good stuff. Yeah, we'll see how the treasuring goes. Players obviously looking toward the middle of the map quite quickly, as there are the extra goats over there and the treasures as well. Although the middle of the map doesn't seem to be very bountiful for treasures. There's only this single little monkey thing that wants to come and help out, join the cause.
Yeah.
The better treasures all seem to be around the edge here.
Well, to be honest, this monkey is kind of OP just because it's for free and it helps you grab more livestock. It's like an extra scout and it helps you fighting and helps you take treasures. It's really good. But it's not. Yeah, it's not like a 90 wood or something. Oh, that's unfortunate. They're gonna actually steal the sheep there, the goats.
Yeah, and you'll get the monkey.
Yeah, right. And well, you can ask interjection about that Freitag or Duber. He loves them.
Cool. I mean, it's a nice little idea. Just get a little extra scout, and it kind of makes up for the fact that the French start with the native scout as well. So
Exactly.
it's all balance is restored to the world. But we noticed here that we saw SoldieR immediately go and build a TP, like no hesitation there.
Yeah.
Getting that TP up early. Why do you think he's gone for the early TP here?
It's what you do every time when you have 200 wood start. It was the extra wood start. As you can see, Brits was able to get 2 houses down, and France can get the trading post and shop 100 wood. It means that with the XP you get your 3 CDB shipment, your 3 villager shipment earlier, so you don't really age up any late, in fact, despite having to chop 100 wood. And it's just very good, especially when you plan to go fortress, then you can spam these very strong H3 shipments. So it's just something you do usually.
Yeah, over on the left side of the map, we also see a little scuffle between the explorers. SoldieR there getting quite low to that tiger, but he does pick up the treasure. It is an 85 wood, and he already grabbed a 40 wood earlier on. So he's up in the treasuring department, but he might end up losing his explorer for this, as basically, I mean, he's up against a full HP explorer here from Ted, and he's trying to break that snare, but he's not getting away.
You can break the snare and put the goat
with the goat.
Block. He's trying to do it, and he should be able to, but he needs to do both at the same time. If you both like hit your opponent, like turn back and hit, and then block, then you get away for sure. But right now, he's just gonna maybe keep the goat.
No, he's not even gonna keep the goat at this rate. It's one more hit, and that explorer is dead. The goat is gonna die.
Which is good, but still, well. Not the end of the world there for SoldieR. He did get the 85 wood, and he does already have a trading post, so he doesn't need to build one. So it's okay if his explorer is dead, but it's never really good, of course. And that goat is gonna be stolen.
Looks like it.
So Tedere actually really ahead in the livestock, and that's not normal in this matchup because of the native scout.
Yeah,
But then
6
again,
against 3 at the moment, and it looks like SoldieR is going to find this goat here, so he'll help to even that out just a little bit. It's 5-4 now, and I don't think there's any more goats left on the map. So provided these goats get home safely, I think we're looking at quite an even goat number.
SoldieR is sitting 2 goats now, so he's ahead. But no, there aren't any more goats on the map. So
he's also looking at this 80 coin on the left side, but I think he messed up there a little bit, right? The Tiger HP reset, and now he's going to have to go into melee combat with it. But yeah, he'll be fine. He'll grab that 85 coin, and the Age 2 upgrade is coming in. So we've got both players going up. Philosopher Prince for Tedere. Is that unusual?
It's a 500 food. It's normal. I mean, you can either go for the tower and 200 gold, which is maybe a little bit better if you expect to be pressured, just because the tower helps you defend. And 500 food is better if you plan on maybe being a little bit aggressive yourself, or just like
right.
Well, like for example, yeah, exactly, for stable. You need more resources to train hussars, and then the 500 food is more useful than the 200 coin. Even though you don't get the tower, it's gonna be able to get nice cap batches, and that's just that's definitely interesting.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
SoldieR going for a forward Rex. Kind of risky to go just for one forward Rex in this matchup, just because Brits can like, imagine if he did age up with the tower, he could just send his tower right on top of that Rex and build his own Rex and just pump out some musketeers. And with the help of the tower, he would definitely win the little battle there in the middle. But luckily for SoldieR, it's a stable, so the Rex is going to be okay.
Yeah, we've got the 700 wood coming in now as well, so we'll see more manor houses placed down. But Ted did not send Virginia Company, so he is going to be getting the stable up, getting quite aggressive with some Hussar in queue, I imagine. Let me check that. Units in queue. Yep, 5 about to pop. And we've got 5 musks queued up here for SoldieR. We've also got a barracks, I believe, coming in at the back of Ted's base. Just, I guess, switching quite quickly into musk here. Doesn't want to overcommit to the Hussar and then get caught out by the musks of SoldieR. And speaking of getting caught out, he's getting caught out.
It's actually okay to fight 5 musks with 5 Huss. Usually, the musketeers should be afraid of the Huss here, because it's just like much more stuff. But if you start attacking the opponent's explorer, then yeah, I mean, you need to really engage the fight directly, like micro it well, and then you're good to go with 5 Huss against 5 Musk. But here, yeah, the explorer was tanking and stuff, so yeah. So Tedere lost 1 Hussar, and 2 of them are quite low HP, while SoldieR lost only 1 musketeer, and now killing a villager as well.
Yeah, that's very nice. And he was trying to look for the courier that's building the stable now in the middle of the map. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to get there in time because the muskets popped out from SoldieR and, just pushed those Huss away. But the Huss, they're on the prowl. They're looking for something now. Maybe they can get in here and catch a villager on this coin mine. But Ted, meanwhile, he's got to defend at home. He's been sort of pushed back a little bit off his coin. He does have a coin in the back of his base. So, it's not like he's unable to gather coin at all. But yeah, I mean, at this point, he's not ahead in economy just yet. He did send the 600 wood instead of the 5 villagers. So I guess he's trying to just get more manor houses up here and get the XP for that as well. Yeah,
it's like when you cav start as Brits, you can't have too many villagers and wood chopping for manor houses because it's really expensive to make cav, and so you can't boom too much when you start with a stable. And he kind of needs a second barracks, I think, because he's behind it. Although now he's not that behind anymore. I don't know.
He just got 2 villager picks inside of SoldieR's base. He got 2 couriers there, and he's actually still hanging around looking for more. So that's a pretty good situation for Ted, and he's going to run straight into SoldieR's army meanwhile and sort of throw away a few muskets there. So a little bit of a blunder on that front, but he's pulled ahead now in eco, and he's actually got a decent military population as well. So things are kind of looking good for the blue player at the moment.
Yeah, it's really looking okay, but he really needs a second barracks because SoldieR even added a second racks himself, and you really, like, in Colonial, what matters is your musketeer count. With your hussars, you can snare, you can raid, but in the main fights, you need to have lots of musketeers. And for that, he would need a second rack soon. And I'm quite
Nice.
worried about that because he doesn't have any wood. He used all of his 600 wood to build manor houses. So that's why he's ahead in eco, which is nice. But he also needs to be able to spam lots of musketeers.
Right, but I do wonder if SoldieR actually has the eco to spam enough at the moment. In come the Hussar once again, though, looking to find the couriers in the back, and he's so close. One of them's like 10 health, but this has actually forced a few muskets back from SoldieR, and that means that, in fact, Ted's actually taken a good fight on the front and actually cleaned up SoldieR's forward army. So SoldieR might be making more units, but he's probably not trading as effectively.
It's actually, also, if you look at the musketeer trades, Tedere has lost 9 musk and 3 hash, and SoldieR has lost 17 musk. So even Tedere even taking good trades military-wise and killing 2 CDBs, losing only 1 villager. So yeah, Tedere is definitely ahead right now. I'm just worried about this push of him just now. I mean, pushing in 3 buildings is very risky when you have only 17 musketeers. It's not a whole lot of units.
Ted's going to find one more courier as well with that 78 HP Hussar. Like, he's getting so much value out of them, but meanwhile, his muskets are getting caught out a little bit. He does have the musket damage shipment, so he will at least have the advantage over the red muskets here, but the cav at the front line sort of tanking a little bit, allowing SoldieR to get in there and do some damage from behind. Yeah. And again, like you say, he really needs that second barracks, right? But he does have it now. So we should be able to see him catching up in military count pretty quickly, given that he has an extra 11 eco population here.
Yeah, just a bit of another comment here from Tedere, and he does have a second rack, so yeah, he's gonna be okay. That wasn't, like, pushing here was a mistake, but it's not the end of the world. Also, like you said, his musketeers have the attack upgrade. Might be a little bit early for that upgrade. Maybe a 6 musketeers shipment would have been better, or 700 gold to spam a little bit more units. But it is not the end of the world. That push was a mistake, but it went kind of okay for Tedere. He's still quite ahead in eco, and not too far behind in military. So
yeah, this isn't too bad. We've got more Hussar coming in for SoldieR. He's actually floating quite a lot of gold at the moment. He sent 700 and then 600 gold with a 700 food shipment in there as well. But here's a good fight coming in. SoldieR here going to take the fight. Obviously, the British have the better muskets in this engagement, but SoldieR is plowing on forward with more Hussar coming in. Do you think he's got this? It looks like he will.
Well, yeah, that looks like a bad fight for Tedere. He needs to call Minutemen probably and hopefully pop more musketeers. He does have a batch of 10 musk popping out. He can also afford to fight a little bit with his villagers since he had an eco. So he should be alright here, but again, not the best trade. I'm just not sure why he keeps being so aggressive. I mean, he was again trying to push out to the front base, and then he got caught by Red's army. But he's Brits, he has more eco, so I'm not sure why he keeps being so aggressive here. He could just use all his food and then push out. He doesn't need map control right now, although very soon he will.
Yeah, I was going to say the hunt in front of his base was very saturated, and now he's going to move over to the right side to grab the hunt there, leaving his villagers just a little bit exposed. In fact, both players will have very exposed vills, but looks like Teder's in for a bit of a beating here. His economy all moving out to the right-hand side, snared by that single Hussar, and that's enough for him to lose quite a lot of villagers. As you said, though, he can afford to lose some villagers. It's not ideal, but if the worst comes to the worst, he should still end up ahead in economic population. The problem is SoldieR's got this like momentum now, right? Like he's sending more units in, and Teder's only just replenishing them as fast as he's losing them, really.
Yeah, like losing bills to swing a fight is okay, but losing bills for nothing is just not okay, right? So that was not so good for Ted. He's still very far behind in military, a bit less ahead than before in economy.
Oh, no, this has got to be GG here, right?
That is GG, yeah. I mean, there's nothing Ted can do here, and I just being too aggressive there, a bit too cocky, trying to push the front base and just moving out all the time. He could have waited for a solid mass of masks, wait for boss upgrades to come in, and then he would have been in a very solid spot. But SoldieR is going to win that game.
Yeah, it looks like those villagers are just all going idle. They're all going down. And SoldieR can absolutely win that fight, even with some crossbows mixed in there. But that's surely GG now. Where does he hunt? Where does he get food? He doesn't. He calls the game, and SoldieR takes the advantage 2-0.
Yeah, at one point it was really looking good for Tedere, but he just kind of threw the game by being overly aggressive, which is a bit sad because obviously I would have liked to see him win one game from SoldieR just because it would make up for a little bit closer series.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you look at the military graph, just SoldieR, despite being always behind in eco, just always ahead in military. Not always, but at that one point, around 9 minutes in the military graph, we can see SoldieR popping lots of stuff and just killing a bunch of Tedere's musketeers, and then being constantly ahead in military. And yeah, that's a sad game for Ted here.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like he could have won that if he'd have just sort of waited a little longer and stacked those home city shipments as well. You know, if he'd have gotten the defense upgrade, he did end up having that in the end of the game. But at the time that upgrade came in, he only had like 5 musks left, so it was a little bit late. Yeah. And you know, I kind of understand though, right? If you're in Ted's position, you're thinking, right, I've got this attack upgrade, I've got a solid number of musks, I'm going to push out and see what I can do. And then SoldieR just sort of, you know, suddenly out of nowhere just pushes you back. But yeah, I guess it's just, yeah, it's a little bit easy to get over your head and just sort of push those buildings, and then suddenly it's like, actually, another 10 muskets popped, another 5 hussar popped, and you're outnumbered.
And that's the thing about Age of Empires 3, right? You pop batches of 5, so it makes it much more risky to attack a building, like a military building. Because if your opponent pops just like 10 units right on top of you, you can be in big trouble. And I think maybe Tedere was afraid of an age up. He tried maybe to make something happen. Maybe that's why he was a bit aggressive with his musketeers, just because usually France goes age 3. And if you let France age up for free, like without pushing him, he's just going to get veterancy on his musketeers and ship to falconets, and has a very strong unit composition, very scary for Brit to deal with. And maybe that's why he was trying to push out. But sadly, SoldieR was just popping stuff, and yeah, that was not good for Tedere.
Yeah, kind of tough game for him, and a kind of a tough loss, I feel, as well, because he actually had a real solid shot in that one, I feel. But next map will be Baja, California, and just give me a second here.
Yep.
Do we want to what? Sure, why not? Yeah. Just let me know what it is. Apparently we have another series after this, but yeah, I'll get some information about that in just a moment.
All right.
Yeah, so we have Baja, California up next. Obviously, it's 2-0 to SoldieR right now, and it might be a quick series if he takes this win as well. He is going to lock in Germany, and we'll see Ted taking his pick. Maybe we'll see Britons again. I mean, it's not completely unreasonable, is it? It's
not. Then on that map, it's maybe not the greatest pick. Japan is quite solid on this map, but maybe not the best counter pick to Germany. Could have seen something like Otto here, or Su could be okay as well. But Japan is not horrible, so we'll have to see how this plays out. And like I said, Germany being SoldieR's main civ, so that's going to be tough for Tedere now.
Yeah, so question in the chat, who will SoldieR play against next round? It's going to be Yumiu, and that should be a good match, right? I think that should be a good match.
Yeah, it should be rather close, I think. I'm not sure how good Yumiu is at the moment. He used to be a top player, but he's been rather rusty. So I'm not sure who wins that between SoldieR and Yumiu, but it should be pretty close.
Well, I should hope that the players are really putting in the effort to, practice and such, especially with this being a LAN tournament and having the opportunity to actually, come to the UK and play on LAN. It's not a very often that you get that opportunity to do that. So I should hope that they would try. But we are going to get into this game now. It's going to be the Germans for SoldieR. It's going to be Japan for Ted. And we're going to go into game number 3. In just a moment here on Baja, California. Looking forward to this one. I mean, I like this map. I've enjoyed this a lot, and we casted a game earlier. Of course, it was A's versus Tit, and we saw so much action on land and water. It made for a really fun game. I have a feeling this game might play out a little bit differently, but yeah, we're spawning into the map now. And we'll introduce the servers as soon as, or the players, as soon as things have launched up. But it's 2-0 to SoldieR so far. Looks to be quite comfortable for SoldieR so far. And spawning over to the east of the map in the blue, it is SoldieR. And over to the west in the red, it's going to be Ted playing as Japanese here. So Kaiserklein, great to have you. Really nice to have your insight. And you're such a knowledgeable player. You always have some great knowledge and can give some great insight into what's happening in the game. What do you think is going to happen in this game? What's sort of the big things we're looking for here?
Well, the interesting thing here that SoldieR is not a very standard gem player. It's his main civ, but he likes to go for some quite unstandard builds, especially some kind of crossbow pike stuff. And that actually does rather well against Japan. It's maybe not the way you would always played, but you can go crossbow pike as Germany against Japan. So we'll have to look out for that. Might be some kind of rush, possibly a tower rush, like we saw when Azam did against Cheat. Well, it was a fake rush, but here it would be a real rush with like 8 crossbows first in that tower. Might be a double racks crossbow pike aggression. We'll have to see. But I expect something like that from SoldieR. I don't expect the standard H3 play.
Okay. And anything interesting about the opening? Is it standard? What did we have crates this game?
It was a coin start, which is pretty bad for Japan, just because they can't really do anything with it. While Germany makes a market, as you can see in his base, and gonna pick up that 20 coin treasure as well with the villager. Hopefully gonna find more on the map. He's finding 30 coin on top. And there's lots of these small coin treasures in Baja, California. So basically, he's going to get almost all the coin he needs to buy 100 wood and research hunt dogs.
Yes.
And so that means he will be able to age up in time while having that extra food upgrade, which is very nice.
And he's got that one settler wagon there on the coin mine just to tip him over the edge. And there you go. So hunting dogs coming in now, and then off he goes to hunt some pronghorns. But Ted did go for the 95 wood treasure. I feel that's quite nice if you want to get the shrines up, right? Just getting that early wood boost. He's gone for a shrine there near to the pronghorns in the south, and he's going for a trade post down in the south too.
But that's very painful because he's gonna miss the XP right now, and that's one of the longest TP lines in the game.
It's huge, isn't it? Mm.
Yeah, it's gonna be very long until he gets the next XP. So that's very painful. Like I would just when I see the XP Travois coming in, I would just be like, okay, no,
never mind. Maybe next time.
Yeah.
Well, then I think it's because he's
top, in the middle, but yeah. Sorry, what did you say?
I was going to say, I think it's because he fought the bears for so long, trying to get that 95 wood treasure, that it really delayed him getting down there, and he unfortunately missed the action. But SoldieR gets 150 coin, and it looks like we're going to see 75 coin for Ted. So SoldieR pretty much getting every coin treasure on the map, while Tedere ends up with just a little bit of coin himself.
Yeah. That's interesting start. I mean,
a lot of coin.
The 95 wood was just super good for Japan, but the TP is kind of strange. Also, you can go for a consulate if you want with these 200 wood. Mm-hmm. And even if you don't, if you ally with the Portuguese, it makes it cheaper to actually age up to the next age. So instead of 800 food, it's only 680. So it's like 120 food for free.
Right.
Instead of the TP, it could have been interesting, I think.
Yeah, it could have been an alternative approach, right? But I think there's something going on here that we may not have picked up on already. The 3 fishing boats for Ted being his first shipment. That has to be better than... Is that better than 2 settler wagons?
No, it's not. Honestly, there is nothing better than 2 settler wagons.
Okay.
It's just...
But I mean,
in the game.
In terms of his other options, right? That's probably the best option he's got available.
Yeah, it's the best. it's pretty much the best. People used to ship the Heavenly Kami card, which is Japanese deck here in H1, for a very long time. It's a card that makes your shrines gather more, and they are cheaper as well. And it's some kind of very boomy playstyle, a bit similar to shipping Virginia Company if you want. And well, recently we've just found out that it's just not good in lots of cases, and that 3 boats, if you can, so it has to be a water map, is usually just better. Even if you want to go like for full boom, you'll just end up having 3 extra boats.
Well, and also as well, sorry to interrupt, like it just seems to make a lot of sense because you can get them out on the water and they're going to be uncontested. Like your shrines can always get raided, they could get taken down, but in order to take these down, SoldieR would have to come down here, he'd have to build a dock, or he'd have to ship some caravels in here, and you know he's not really going to want to do that necessarily.
And they also delay your cherry orchard shipment because as Japan, you're always afraid of shipping these. Like you gotta use a shipment just to get food in your base, like to set your villagers on food. And having these boats gathering fish means you can delay the cherry orchards by maybe 1 shipment, so it buys you some time. So it's pretty nice.
Yeah, for sure. And we do see Heavenly Kami coming in as his second shipment, as his feudalage comes in now with the Toshogu Shrine.
I think he's trying to mind game SoldieR here.
You think?
Because SoldieR earlier said rush incoming because of the trading post, probably.
Yeah.
Like, and now maybe Tedere is adapting and like, no, I'm not gonna rush. I'm shipping Kami, but I'm not sure how good that is. He already had most of his shrines built, I think, by the time he got the Kami in, so it's not that great.
He is still building a few more, but the point is, at the moment, he's just going for the consulate. He's got the Toshogu Shrine, doesn't really have any military production at this stage, and we have the Ulan coming out across the map from SoldieR, seeing if he can find something here.
Yeah, probably gonna try to find the explorers on the map, because you can't really raid Japan so much. They have all their villagers really so close to their town center usually. But you can try to chase down the Japanese monks. Like, he's probably going to do that here. He's sending one Ulan up there. And another one
is hiding from us. It's down in the south, building more shrines. Lots more shrines. Shrines everywhere.
Yeah.
Shrines as far as the eye can see. He's actually got them set to wood right now.
What SoldieR is doing now is smart. He's sending one Ulan here, and the other one ready to catch the explorer in his base because he can poof back to his TC. And so, is he going to do that? Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Villagers should be able to hop in and kill the Ulan pretty quickly, right? But he's not doing that right now. He does also have now some Yamabushi out, so will he lose a villager here? I think he'll be fine. And it looks like he's not going to lose his explorer either, so that's gone quite well for Tedere so far.
Yeah, right. That's pretty good for Ted. And these clubs are so strong against Cav. Like, they have 50 attack against Cav. And Ulans have only 180 HP, so they're going to die in 4 hits of these guys. So you have to be super careful.
Yeah, that's insane.
And they can also siege down the trading post, because it looks like SoldieR, I was wrong actually, SoldieR is not going for the crossbow pike stuff. He's just trying to get a stagecoach, sieging down Ted's TP with his Ulans. Gonna try to siege down some shrines as well with his Ulans probably.
Yeah, they're going to trade there because the Yamabushi in the north are just going to take the TP at the top. So it's just a clean TP trade, it seems. But it looks to me like SoldieR's invested a lot more into military at this point, like with all these Ulan he's made.
Exactly.
And so, you know, Ted's getting a lot more done with much less investment, it feels, at this point, with more shrines just coming up.
He's going to be aging up, yeah. That's really early for Japan. Usually you see more units out. You kind of have to train Ashes against Germany, usually in H2. But just because SoldieR is not going for crosspike and he's going for Ulans, which is okay. But I mean, then Japan can get away with just training 5 clubs from his consulate. It's not free, though. Usually you would like to get the 3 fishing boats from the Portuguese consulate. And instead he switched to Japanese and made the clubs. So that means he had to give up on getting 3 extra boats.
Yeah, we're also going to see SoldieR here scouting the Wunder, so he knows that that's coming, as the sentries are called. And SoldieR now probably wants to adapt here. He's not, I mean, he could age fairly soon, right? Like, he's not that far off.
No, but he did use already his 700 gold to mass. Like, if he didn't do that, if probably that extra batch of Ulans here could have been instead SoldieR clicking to H3, like kind of right now, I think.
Right.
But he's going to go for 600 gold instead. He does have a lot of experience because of all the trading posts he's built. And he also trained Dobbs. That's also where the 700 coin went. So, gonna delay his age up. Gonna be aging later than Japan, which is really something you almost never see in this matchup. But might be able to grab the stagecoach just because he's got these extra units in and siege down some shrines with the Dobbs, because Dobbs have lots of siege.
Yeah, he's sending them up now toward the middle of the map, and maybe he'll find this little cluster of 4 shrines here, just take that away from him. And yeah, at the moment, just going around sieging all the shrines down. But that's like, it's kind of why I like having these fishing boats on the water. Like, he's kind of immune to that. But still, buying himself some time by putting the shrines in between him and SoldieR, it seems, and starting to mass some units now. More Yamabushi, more Ashigaru musketeers, and should be able to keep these shrines up, I think. This one with 40 HP should survive.
Yeah, he did a good job at training units in transition. That's something lots of players don't do, but you can and usually should train units while you're going to H3. Even SoldieR now can be training Ulans if he wants to, although sometimes you want to keep the resources for war wagons or skirmishers or something. But anyway, my point is that Japs already got a quite decent army there. Like, it's not a huge army, but, it's respectable.
Yeah, what's he got? He's got the Ashes, he's doing the Disciplined upgrade now, and he's got some Yumi Archers in there as well. Numbers, lacking a little bit, but, I mean, I'm expecting him to try and bring that up a little bit more. And there you go, 8 Ashes being sent.
Yeah,
and more.
Kind of normal, I mean, he just aged, so now he's going to start messing because he's getting these unit achievements in. He's just shipped 8 Ashes indeed, and he's got another one on the way. And that is going to be, I don't know what it's going to be, actually. But still has to be a little bit careful because Germany gets more mass usually with these big unit shipments.
Yeah, and we do see SoldieR in the Fortress Age now, so he's still roaming around with the Ulan. It looks like the Explorer will poof back. He's having no luck killing the Explorers this game. They're just getting out every time. And immediately sending the Yamabushi over to try and deal with those Ulan. Maybe he'll catch the Vils here though. Nope. Good reaction from Tedere. Oh, we saw the Orchard Rickshaws coming. Okay.
And the Dobbs getting a bit, not directly caught, but they're in a little bit of danger here. It looks overall quite good for Japan, to be honest.
It does.
Still, never mind. I was going to say still no stagecoach, but Germany does have 2 TP stagecoach. Although that one is really close to Ted's army, and I wish he would just siege it down. But I guess he wants to go help in the fight.
Sorry to interrupt you there. He did catch the Dops, and just as he built a stable as well. And I think SoldieR saw the stable, but we do see that coming up now from Ted. And yeah, you're right. I mean, if he just goes north and sieges that, I don't think there's a lot SoldieR can do right now, really. And in fact, I think that might be what he's doing with these Yamabushi.
Yeah, he just wants to stop running around because he can't catch Ulans with musketeers. Even if Ashigarus are faster than regular infantry, you can't just keep running behind them. So I'd rather give up on my shrines a little bit and maybe siege down the TPs a bit more. 2 things I would like to say now. First, SoldieR is going industrial, which is very surprising, but it's interesting. And SoldieR did not get veterancy, probably because he wanted to age up really early to industrial, but he needs to get veterancy on his Ulans at some point. But aging up to industrial already.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, once he goes industrial, he has got, interesting, he's got 10 Polish winged hussars in there, and then he's got his factories, of course, as well. What's his main sort of motivation to go industrial here?
At this point, it's the heavy cannons, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, in the first time, it's the heavy cannons because they are going to help him so much fight these Ashigarus, and then after that, it's just a follow up with the factories. I'm not sure I like that so much, just because he's giving up on the stagecoach. Like he invested so much into that TP line. He built for sure like 4 or 5 TPs this game, including the ones that got sieged down, I guess.
Yeah,
like he's lost 3 TPs. Okay, so he built overall 4 TPs and researched the stagecoach. That's more than 1,000 resources. And at the end of the day, it's going to be benefiting to Tedere probably.
Yeah, because
like
they have 50-50 on the trade route right now, and the middle one is just not taken. So, yeah, I think you're right. I mean, SoldieR investing a lot there, but there's the industrial age, and the veterancy did come in for the Ulan. We also see 2 Falks here, and we've got more Naginata Riders coming out for the Japanese player with the discipline upgrade coming in as well here.
And Ted is a bit hesitating, I think. He's not sure if he wants to try to push, knowing very well that there's going to be cannons up his face anytime, or if he wants to follow up himself, because Japan is known to have a very good industrial age. So he could just follow up.
I mean, they can ship those flaming arrows twice, can't they? For like 8 flaming arrows. They've got some really big 16 Yumi archers, 14 Ashigaras. Like, there's quite big unit shipments there for pure mass.
Right, and the flaming arrows would do a very good job at killing the heavy cannons. So the problem, I think, is that it's a bit frustrating being Tedere to have been shipping H3 unit shipments and done nothing with them, and then SoldieR is H4 and you don't push. Then it's a bit annoying. You're like, yeah, dude, I want to use my units. I ship stuff. Let's go. But should he go? If he goes now, I think he's just going to get molested by the heavy cannons. So probably just going to age himself.
That's so risky, isn't it? There's the heavy cannons out for SoldieR. And he's currently floating a lot of resources. It does look like that's going to be his game plan here, going up to industrial as well. And meanwhile, we see SoldieR getting his first factory out. For the time being, it looks like Soldier's quite happy to stay back. This is good, though. I mean, these 3 Ashigaru are going to scout the heavy cannons and say, right, guys, you need to get out. You do not want to be anywhere near that.
And there's a very scary drag box from SoldieR. It's like drag boxing his stuff around, and you see like so much artillery there. And
this is scary. I mean, does Tedere really want to be here right now?
Beijing, okay. Sorry, what did you say?
I said, does Tedere really want to be this close to SoldieR right now with those cannons? So
I kind of like it if he's careful enough, because he's just it's psychological. He's pressuring SoldieR, and then SoldieR doesn't know that he's actually aging, and so SoldieR
that's true
would be pushing. Maybe he would already be pushing out, like, yeah, let's go. He's gonna follow up. Let's just go now with my artillery. And in fact, Tedere just mind gaming him a bit into staying in his base and defending while he's following up himself. So just buying himself a lot of time here. I kind of like that.
Yeah, I like that as well. Oh my goodness, look at this. The eternal battle for that north trading post. SoldieR does grab one in the middle, and he's sending his explorer up to the top to get it again. I think it's like the 3rd time that trading post has changed hands, but not a lot Tedere can do about that right now, while SoldieR is in industrial and does have the cannon mass. We've got veterancy on the Doppelsudness coming in as well, and meanwhile Tedere on his way up to the next age, industrial age, coming in with the shogunate. So we're expecting to see the shogun. What's he called? I don't know.
The daimyo.
Daimyo, that's it.
That's giving you 600 XP as well. So he triggered his next shipment, and he's gonna have 4 flaming arrows on the way for sure. The problem is that he's a bit housed right now, and in this Toshugo shrine, he's also
it's gone.
20 pop space, so he's really close.
He's insanely housed. 147 out of 120. Jeez, and
but he does have already at least his shipment on the way, and he's researching his ashes. So even if he can't spend his food and gold now, he was able to spend his wood and some gold to upgrade his ashes. And ashes alone are very scary here. They beat both Ulans and Doppels. The only thing remaining here is the artillery of SoldieR. But with 4 flaming arrows, I think Ted should be really okay here. He just need to micro and not waste his flaming arrows, and then he's totally okay.
There they are, the flaming arrows popping out the back. I'm really feeling tense right now. This is Tedere's moment, and he cannot get snared by the Ulan. Oh, he's got to be so careful.
Why? No.
Oh, that's free real estate for SoldieR right there, but it does leave those cannons potentially open. The Doppelsudners are defending them, though. And meanwhile, the flaming arrows Not able to get the shots off. What are they doing?
I don't know what they're doing, the flaming arrows, but...
There we go. First heavy cannon down.
Well, we have to say that Ashes are insane at this point. They do have like 45 attack, which is incredible. But the Nagis are fighting the Dobbs.
Yeah, at the back, they're getting absolutely wrecked here.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like he could have done so much better than that here, and he's just gonna lose the game probably right now.
What a fight. What a fight. That went so badly for Tedere there, and I feel like he had every opportunity to potentially turn that around. He does finally pick off the second heavy cannon, but it's too late. The rest of his army is gone, and the other two cannons are still, the other cannon is still up.
He's got a shipment on the way. If he's got like 14 Ashes, he can totally be okay, but he lost so many villagers as well.
Yeah, he would immediately need to go across the map and go kill some villagers, and he is actually sending out some Naginata now. Going to kill the Falconet here, and I guess the yeah, there they are. The Ashigara are coming out.
Yeah, it's looking really bad for Ted, but to be honest, he still has an opportunity to maybe win it, because Germany is out on the map gathering gold everywhere, and if he can just go pure Ashy, like Germany doesn't have a good counter to just like a big mass of Ashy right now. You would need a lot of skirmishers with that. So if he can just run on the coin mines and kill a bunch of bills, he should be okay. But yeah, it just sucks to lose that many bills on the cherry orchard.
That was painful. That was painful. Tedere, though, is going to add his second TC. He has survived for now, but he's very far behind economically. Does need to try and equalize that, and he will immediately come over here toward this gold mine and just narrowly pass it. He should see those vills, and he should turn around and catch them. The outpost does go up, though.
It does go up, but how long does it survive against like a bunch of H4 Ashes? I think he should just siege it down, to be honest. But he's maybe afraid of getting caught. Oh,
Winged Hussar. Yeah,
these Hussars are like H4 Huss. They are really strong, but they are not that strong against Ashes. He needs to go in minimum, though.
I was going to say, we've got the upgrade on the Ulan as well, the guard there, and those Ashes are just going to get surrounded. They'll do some pretty good damage, though, before they go down. But I think they will go down eventually.
Well. I don't know, actually. I think the Ashes are going to get up, man, because they're just so strong.
Oh, well, there's more coming in, actually.
Yeah.
That's enough to send SoldieR packing. I think if the reinforcements hadn't have come, he probably would have... oh boy, he's actually going to stick in there, and that's got to go well for those Ashes.
Yeah, and look at this.
Oh, there's so many more coming. Jeez. Yeah. Let's go, Ted. Let's go.
Yeah, right. Imagine if he just like didn't lose his bunch of villagers. Even the fight was not very good, but if he didn't lose his vills, he would be probably winning right now. He's still losing, but well, SoldieR has to be careful that he doesn't keep doing this, right? Like he can't just fight Ashes with Cab like he did just now. If he keeps doing this, he might be in a lot of trouble. But I honestly think SoldieR is going to be okay. He's producing heavy cannons from his factories now. He's got one on the way. He's going to probably switch to skirmishers. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. But there is potential here with his H4 Ashes. SoldieR going to take a fight again? No, can't do that.
No, just losing those Doppelsoldners there, and it's that outpost. It's just so flimsy at the moment, not protecting anything, and sent those villagers down here to the south, where Tedere is just narrowly missing them. And if you could find some settler wagons and sort of equalize that villager count a little bit, wouldn't be too worried for him, because these Ashigara are clearly very strong. But here comes the heavy cannon, and we'll see if he can deploy that. The Ashigara like nicely lined up to take a huge cannon shot. There it is, taking them down quite quickly, but getting out of range now and kiting the Ulan back.
So strong. They're just so strong, these musketeers, and he hasn't even shipped so many upgrades on them. Only one card and got the H4. Right. But that wonder here, the Golden Pavilion, is also buffing them, and they're just like, they just tear through cavalry right now with that 4.5 multiplier against Cav. It's just huge. And one heavy is nice, but he can't get the snare, right? He would need to snare the Ashes and kill them with a heavy cannon, but he can't snare because Ulans have so few hit points, and look how fast they're melting. Like,
it just dies so quickly against this. Man, what does
So
Germany do here? I mean, you said they don't really have a good answer to the Ashigaru. It seems like the cannons are the best play, but they're so hard to position.
the
Oh, here
right
we
answer
go.
would
Big
be
shot. Big. Any time now. When you're
yeah,
ready.
could have killed it. Like, I
Oh,
mean,
man.
he was so close to the cannon, and in like 2 volleys max, he would kill it. So I think he should have just right-clicked that cannon, maybe even go in melee and kill everything. Could have killed the Vils, the Ulans, the next heavy cannon, maybe. But anyway,
Yeah. I
the
think
good
he's
answer.
nervous. I think he's like really unsure of himself almost. I feel like he's lacking a little bit of confidence to make those plays, you know. But he's finding the villagers in the north with the Naganatas up here, and so he'll pick up a villager or two perhaps, but the Ulan going over to deal with that quite quickly.
I think he's hesitating because he knows, like, if he wants to win this game, he can't lose his army even once. Like,
Right.
the only good thing going for Ted is his mass of super strong Ashigarus. But if he loses this mass, then he's behind in eco, and I don't know, like, he's just probably gonna lose the game. So he has to be very careful with them. But he also has to make something happen, probably. So it's kind of a tricky situation where he needs to push, but needs to push very carefully. And now at least he knows there's like some heavy cannons in the field, and he needs to mix some flaming arrows in.
He knows there's 3. I mean, he's got some Naganatas out as well. I think he's trying to like raid with them and just keep SoldieR from sort of pushing into him by just sort of distracting him, I guess, with the Naganatas.
Yeah, oh, there's a raid up here.
Oh, wow, that's going to hurt.
Ulans are so good at raiding.
I mean,
64 attack. They killed those in like
3 hits.
4 hits at this point, of 3.
That's like, by the time the Ashigaru can even get over there, like every Vill's gone.
Yeah,
right.
At
least he'll get to kill some Vills in return.
Yeah, he's gonna kill a few Vills himself and kill the Ulans, but it was still like more Vills dying for red here, so it's still tough. But
silver mine soaked in blood, single villager still mining away. Never forget. But yeah, I mean, at this point, it looks like SoldieR is right outside of Ted's base, looking to roam in. Ted needs to get those villagers off into the TCs before they all die to Ulans, like last time.
Yeah, right.
2 might be at risk, and wow, I mean, SoldieR here, I mean, he's like, come at me. I've got 5 heavy cannons. What have you got?
Yeah.
Look at these heavy cannons. They're just going to obliterate this town center. I love it.
Yeah. Oh,
he's going for the back line.
That's GG.
Oh, God, no!
That's GG.
Oh, my goodness.
Nice club pop right on top of the cannons, but, you know, like, these volleys are just illegal.
There's Ashies going flying.
Oh, boy. Oh, my God. Well, yeah,
he
that's
takes them down in the end, but there's far too many Ulan left, and they've got the upgrades as well. Cavalry hit points, cavalry combat, and those Ashies might be good, but they're not that good. GG, well played call. Tedere is going to take the loss here as SoldieR goes 3-0, and that last game was quite a lot closer, wasn't it? I really enjoyed that. I thought Japan, for a moment, may have just been able to pull through and see a victory.
Yeah, he just needed an answer to the heavy cannons, like maybe just shipping the 4 flaming arrows again, or even training some. He really needed to do that. But yeah, it's kind of like, he already put up a good fight, I think, Ted. We expected this result, this 3-0, but this game, as well as at the British against France game, were pretty close, and even at some point, Ted was ahead.
Right,
because of this.
Yes.
He did kind of get, like, he lost, the first game he lost it pretty hard, right? There was no real win to win it, but the second and third games were quite interesting.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think, you know, he's going to go down to the lower bracket now, and we'll see, you know, how he performs there. He might have a few more rounds left in him if he is able to play well. He clearly has a lot of potential, I think, and I'm excited to see what he can do for the rest of the tournament. Hopefully he stays motivated and, you know, continues to practice and play on. But SoldieR here will cruise through with a 3-0 victory over Tedere, and he will be facing Yumiu in the round of 16.
Right.
There we go.
So yeah, that's it for Ted. But yeah, lower bracket, so we'll see.
Yeah, the lower bracket, by the way, he's going to be facing... I'm going to have to find him now. Let's see. I'm trying to find the game, so...
Yeah.
He's going to face Master Dutch, I believe. No, he won't be facing Master Dutch. I'm actually not sure he'll be facing, but the brackets will be updated on the ESOC website, eso-community.net.